black people who pretended to be close to me started running from me. Ice Cube started melting on me. These Negroes who play hard pretend they're gangsters. But when the real gangster, the cracker, comes on the scene, they punk out. Scared to do an album with me now. Scared of what the white folks gonna say, what the Jews gonna say. On this video, some of you seen it on TV, the new one that just came out with Scarface. He say something about put my gat in your mouth or my gun in your mouth and make you vomit. I'm down with Khalid Abdul Muhammad. But when it's time to be down with Khalid Muhammad, shot in both legs, assassination attempt against his life, ain't no goddamn Ice Cube nowhere to be found. He's melting somewhere on the sidelines. Punk. Black people who pretended to be close to me started running from me. Ice Cube started melting on me. These Negroes who play hard pretend they're gangsters. But when the real gangster, the cracker, comes on the scene, they punk out. Scared to do an album with me now. Scared of what the white folks gonna say, what the Jews gonna say. On this video, some of you seen it on TV, the new one that just came out with Scarface. He say something about put my gat in your mouth or my gun in your mouth and make you vomit. I'm down with Khalid Abdul Muhammad. But when it's time to be down with Khalid Muhammad, shot in both legs, assassination attempt against his life, ain't no goddamn Ice Cube nowhere to be found. He's melting somewhere on the sidelines. Punk.
I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember, that's right. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the alarm call. When you a friend of the Lord, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those who speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I speak about the prophet over you violate. Who was the first to remind you and bind you back? To Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you wasn't black. We could be straight back. You tripping off trust, you need to be tripping off that. And here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European, I'm the babe. And look at that women buying European hair. No love for self, I do the gotta look at that have now, cause they got a love for dirt. Whole generation take the pills, weed and serve. Yeah, they love no yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigo, Ross, Lucid.
The coffee table.
The woman look like your mother. I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now sight. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler. This era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you working in the twerk. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rockin' fast. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know I ain't slow. I seen it all before. I didn't try to kill the prophet, it was all for dough. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my vast estate. I want my town, my sheriff, my schools, my school, my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debating. Y'all keep hating when love is the savior. You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's why you kill and fight and marry out of your race. If you ain't for Moorish world, then stay out of my face. Cause Chinese love China, and Tigers love India. Hey! Let's go. I'ma give you the real. They bluffing. They bluffing. I'm not gonna use Khaled. Wait for the show. What up, dude, Jen? We about to get right. Be more. I be that boy you gonna remember. So Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. Y'all need to share this, family. I will guarantee you. I will guarantee you. Listen, family. Let's get right to it. Let's get it right. We got Mashing Baines in the building saying that I'm using Dr. Khaled to disqualify the great lyricist Ice Cube. Are you insane? Are you insane? Come on. All we did was do a 5-minute intro. I'm the receipt guy. I'm the receipt guy. I'm not using a clip from one of my heroes, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, to disqualify anybody. I use the clip to set the tone. Listen, let me rise and give praise to Allah and honor to his prophet who taught me to think so I can save myself. I will guarantee you that this presentation here will be the best presentation that you have seen on the net, because mine will make you think. The presentation that I'm going to give you here, see, listen, many people that come to Moorish World TV, one thing that they don't understand is that if forced to, I use the information to verify facts. In other words, yeah, we got some drama. Yeah, we look at some goofy stuff and we laugh at it. Yeah. However, I look at information to verify facts. Look at this goofy guy. Intelligent Risk Takers Academy. Khalid used the word black for your information. And maybe you're new to the channel, Intelligent Risk Taker, but you don't seem that intelligent because you have been watching too many spooky Moors on YouTube. I'm not one of those spooky Moors. If one chooses to describe themselves as black, it's okay with me. I mean, hey, that's your thing. What you eat don't make me poop. I don't describe myself as such. You still my brother. You still my sister. I got a mother, I got a cousin, I got a brother who described themselves as black. And what are you talking about, Intelligent Risk Takers? This is that goofy stuff. This that goofy stuff. So if my mother called herself black, I got to shut my mama down. Mama, you know you ain't black, mama. Mama, you going on 70 years old, and you know you ain't black, mama. You know what? I ain't talking to you no more, mama. It's over, mama. That's it. I'm saying, Intelligent Risk Takers, I'm not one of those spooky Moors.
Intelligent risk taker. I'm not one of them spooky Moors. I don't get into all that dogmatic nonsense. Listen, I represent my position because it's good for me and for those who rock with me. But I respect everybody else's position, but I stand on my truth, and I'm willing to debate anybody with my truth. But in brotherly love and sisterly love. But let me get to it, family. First of all, let me start this off like this. Now, we intelligent risk takers, I appreciate you, family. You just helped me set the tone for the show. Let's start it off like this. First of all, I want to make a disclaimer. All you soft, weak YouTubers out there, whoever you may be, I'm calling a spade tonight. All the weak YouTubers out there, little boys and little girls, don't make YouTube videos if you're scared to be challenged on your information. Don't make social media presentations if you're scared to stand on what you say you believe in. To whoever it goes to, social media era is not the era of yesterday. Social media, YouTube, and all of these platforms are predicated upon views. Number one. So don't look at one person and say, oh, you're trying to get views. Everybody's trying to get views. Stop the stupidity. Secondly, if you have a problem with Brother Tahaka Bey, don't codify it. Come forth. I guarantee you, I make your information looks like garbage. I make your information look like garbage. You know what I mean? Now, but with that being said, and then I'm going to outwork you too. Not only will I make your information look like garbage, I'm going to outwork you. See, the difference between me and other YouTubers, I'm actually trying to do something for the people. I'm actually trying to work in the hood with the peoples. I'm actually trying to make sure that we can build something strong. And this is why I'm qualified to speak on a contract with Black America. And I'm telling you in the title, a contract with Black America is no less than a slaveholder's tactic. Now watch me prove it. I know many of y'all may have seen the title. And many of y'all might have seen the type and say, yeah, he's probably saying that because of black. Hey, nope, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I say, watch me prove it. So another thing I need to make a disclaimer before we get busy. Stop acting like when I disagree with you, I'm beefing with you. I ain't beefing with you. I disagree with you. And if I say a person is an agent, then let the agent come forth, show and prove on social media, produce my evidence, you produce your evidence. I produce the evidence that you are, you produce the evidence that you're not. There you go. It's social media. Let's have a good time with it. If I challenge your information and you don't like the way I challenge your information because you believe in some spook God talking about you don't believe in a spook God, that's on you. I had to get that out. Just be a gentleman, be a woman, stand up and represent your information. Because I be hearing them little codified disses. I be hearing them. But I'm telling you, if you follow some spooky little God, some crazy little ideology, you know what I mean? Some crazy little ideology that I can rip apart, you know what I mean? Like stop playing with me. Just because you follow some stupid silly ideology and I call it I call it out. You mad at me. Man, it's about us coming together. We just need to come together. Yeah, okay. Come together and do what? To share lies? Come together and do what? To share fantasy stories? No, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. Everybody talking about, well, what you doing? I'm about to show you what I'm doing in a minute. I'm about to show you what I'm doing in a minute. I'm gonna dispel the lies. One thing that we need to understand as a group of people, family, is one thing that's very important. That, first of all, y'all working with me now? Y'all with me? Everybody thumbs up. Everybody thumbs up. Let me share this with you. This is what you have to know. All right, here we go. Let me set my mic right because I need to talk to y'all for a minute before I get right. One of the first things that we have to know as a group of people, if you are descendants from the inhabitants of Africa, indigenous or melanated in America, one thing that you have to understand, and you need to understand it clearly, and this is not a racial statement. One group of people do not enslave another group of people and go to the extent to brutalize them doing that enslavement, and then after the chattel slavery is up, find ways to systematically keep that same group on the bottom. Whether it's from TV, whether it's from radio, whether it's from commercial internet, whatever it is, whatever type of media it is, whether it's from the programming in the school, programming in the colleges, everything in American society that is perpetuated by the power structure that we don't play a big part in is motivated to have you subjugated. That's what you have to understand. If you don't know that, then you're watching it wrong. You're watching the wrong program. It doesn't mean it can't change. But everything that is a part of the power structure that you have minimal power in is motivated to keep you subjugated and at the bottom. And that's the problem. Now, I want you to hear me clear. In order to maintain this, you have to have gatekeepers. Family, this is just the honest truth. You have to have gatekeepers to keep you subjugated, but allow you to believe that you're free. This is what it is. You don't have to like me. And if you're a European watching this, you don't have to understand it. You don't have to like it either. But what I'm telling you is that if a European is watching this, let me explain it to you, because I don't have no beef with you. But let me explain this to you. If I put my son or my daughter on a school bus to go to school, whether you admit it or not, you know and I know that the curriculum is lopsided as it relates to the historical context of the people that is being talked about, and it's lopsided. The historical context in school is lopsided. You know it and I know it. You know and I know when you turn on your TV, from a commercial to the news to a TV show or a sitcom or something on Nickelodeon, you know that the images that are portrayed is lopsided. You know, and I know it doesn't take a Yale in-depth study to understand this. You know it, and I know it. Let's not act like it doesn't exist. You know it, and I know it. And it's designed like that. It's designed like that. So in those type of instances, so-called black people, so-called white people could work together and maybe do something about the FCC. That's something everybody could work on. The FCC. The FCC should not have imbalanced content on TV if we are in a society that's supposed to be equal. It just shouldn't exist. That's something everybody can work on. Challenge the FCC. Something else you can work on. You know, and I know. I mean, you know, and I know, and I'm talking to my European subscribers. You know, and I know that, and if you did, you're crazy, that if you heard Wet AP playing in your house with your daughter, that's called WAP, you know, or if you heard, I'm going to kill me 100 crackers. Crackers, I'm going to kill them. I don't care if you don't feel them. I'm going to kill these damn crackers. If you heard music in your house or your children in your car playing music that's predicated about self-destruction, you follow me? Predicated on self-destruction. We're going to kill all white people. White people going to die. But it's the so-called white person saying this. Your children. You know you would have a problem. But we should always have a problem. Whether it's that, because if it was Europeans, say if the tables was turned and Europeans was making music like we see in rap music today, I would be sitting back and like, man, these people are really crazy. That's what? They gonna do what? These people are really crazy. They gonna kill how many Europeans? And then he's going to have sex with how many women? And then he gonna make it rain on them? He gonna throw money at them? These Europeans crazy. These Europeans crazy. So I understand why the European would see us in the way that we do, that they do. It's all right with me. The reason why it's all right with me, because I'm doing something to try to change that. You know what I'm saying? And so I say it's all right, not mean that I accept it, but it's all right because that's where we at and I know what it is and I can deal with it properly. So with that being said, all these social media people, they need to stop crying disunity. I'm not going to water you down with a beautiful message. In fact, I'm going to give you the truth. And now we're going to start on it. All right? Now, first of all, let's get to it. Give me 1 second. Y'all ready? Hey, y'all ready? Y'all ready to get to it? Everybody thumbs up. And I'm going to show you why the contract with Black America is no less than a slaveholder tactic. That doesn't change my like and love for Ice Cube as an artist or me being a fan of Ice Cube. But just for good time's sake, I'm going to play this one more.
Black people who pretended to be close to me started running from me. Ice Cube started melting on me. These Negroes who play hard pretend they're gangsters. But when the real gangster, the cracker, comes on the scene, they punk out. Scared to do an album with me now. Scared of what the white folks gonna say. What the Jews gonna say. On this video, some of you seen it on TV, the new one that just came out with Scarface. He say something about put my gat in your mouth or my gun in your mouth and make you vomit. I'm down with Khalid Abdul Muhammad. But when it's time to be down with Khalid Muhammad, shot in both legs, assassination attempt against his life, ain't no goddamn Ice Cube nowhere to be found. He's melting somewhere on the sidelines. Punk.
All right, so here we go. Let me make sure we straight. Now, I don't want everybody to get emotional about that because, I don't want everybody to get emotional about that. But what I want to do is I wanted to set the tone and show you that somebody that I respect, somebody that I love, had a problem with Ice Cube not being real with him. And the whole thing with me is like yesterday is yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like people change all the time. But being a stand-up person is a stand-up person no matter time or place. You don't learn how to be a stand-up person. Either you're a stand-up person or you're not. It's not like when I was 20, I wasn't a stand-up person, but now I'm 40, I'm a stand-up person. Look, Mushan Baines, again, being a stand-up person is something innate. You don't learn how to be a stand-up person. It's something that you just have. You understand? That you can't say, can Ice Cube change? Of course, everybody can change. Everybody can change. But being a stand-up guy, say for instance, if Europeans watching, they say, well, I don't like Dr. Khalid Muhammad. He's a racist. But guess what? You gotta like him for being real. You don't have to like him as a person, but he was real to what he stood for. You follow me? I mean, he was real for what he stood for. And you got to respect somebody who is real for what they stand for. You don't have to agree with them, but you have to understand that Dr. Khalid Muhammad was real to what he stood for. And when you see a relationship like that fall apart, you have to question and say, hold up. Now in 2020, we have a brother standing up. I wish he would let me interview him. We have a brother standing up to be the spokesman of the so-called black community. You know what I mean? Somebody say, can you be real without being a Moor? Absolutely. You can be real if that's what you want to be. You know what I mean? Whatever level you at, there's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? I got people walk up to me all the time. What up, my nigga? They real to me. But that's another conversation. And so I just thought it was imperative that I put that video on there so I can give it some context. Real people don't change overnight. It just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And so now you have to start right there and then we can move forward. You understand what I'm saying? Context and then move forward. Now, so we ask, I'm just teach you how to think. Prophet Noble Ali said, if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. So I want to try to get you to think, and let's get the wheels turning here. We're not going to judge Ice Cube from what Dr. Khalid Muhammad said, but it's context. It's context. Now, because we got that working part of someone that I respect for being who he is, and someone who went against the grain with a stand-up guy. Now what I got to do is, from that perspective, now I got to do my research. Now I got to do my research. Is he credible of being the spokesman for a contract with quote unquote Black America? Is he credible? I don't know. But let's pull back the layers and see. So, first of all, what I want you to understand, and please, family, I'm a Moorish American, so I deal with context. I deal with the meat of a thing. First of all, what you must understand as I begin to go in. First of all, many people are not going to like what I have to say. Granted, I don't care. My job is to wake you up and to get you to start thinking. So first of all, I'm going to begin this by saying, one second. First of all, I'm going to begin this by saying, screen share. I'm going to begin this by saying, a contract with Black America is another begging ploy to please let me go. It's time for us to stop appealing for someone to free you when you have the power to free yourself. Now, we're going to go to this contract, but remember context. We need to stop asking someone to free us. You write up a contract and you say, here, can you give us this? Context, I hope y'all don't run away. Because I'm going to break some serious stuff down to you in context. That's the first thing we got to do as a people. We need to stop asking somebody to free us. When you look at Exodus 1:9 in the King James Version of the Bible, then the Lord said unto Moses, go unto Pharaoh and tell him, thus saith the Lord, God of the Hebrews, let my people go that they may serve me. The psychology of this verse right here is that God sent Moses to ask a man to let people go, when in fact the Lord could have killed the man, and the 600,000 people could have walked away. This is the psychology of the Bible, that Almighty God tell Moses to ask a man to let people go. Do you understand what I'm saying? That God tells Moses to go to Pharaoh and tell him, saith the Lord, let my people go. So now God instructs Moses to ask a mere mortal to let people go. And that is the catalyst of where we at. We asking people to let us go. We don't need to ask nobody to let us go. Shout out to Ty Live View Productions. That's what we're going to get to. Why are we asking people to let us go? When in fact, the Torah says that 600,000 males with their wives and children and elders left Egypt in the Exodus. Do 600,000 people need permission? Sorry for my misspelling. Do 600,000 people need permission to do anything? 600,000 people. Do they need permission? 600,000. Do 600,000 people need permission to do anything? I'm serious. Sorry for my misspelling. I've been trying to throw this together real fast. But do 600,000 people need permission to do anything? But that's the psychology of the Bible. The psychology of the Bible is that Almighty God instructs Moses to ask a mere mortal to let them go. 600,000 people. That's a slave. If you have to ask somebody to let you go, you are still a slave. This contract is slave talk. I'm going to prove it. We're supposed to be 41.99 million of 2019. So-called black people, so-called African Americans are 41.99 million as of 2019 in America. Are we going to break this down? Talking about we need wealth, we're going to break all that down, Mashon. Do we need a contract with America? We don't need a contract with America. Oh, he say, Freeman say, show me where it says mere mortal. Freeman, if you think Pharaoh was more than a man, you on the wrong channel. That's that spooky stuff. We ain't doing it. Anyway, in 2019, 27.3% of so-called black households earn an income between $25,000 and $50,000. 15.2% earn between $50,000 and $75,000. 7.6% earn between $75,000 and $100,000. And 9.4% earned more than $100,000. If we want to do real research, all we got to do is find out where the 9.4% at. And if we want to get free, we free ourselves. Because the 9.4% will most likely have influence over the mass majority of the population. Because they're going to control the wealth. Know what I mean? They're going to control the wealth. The 9.4%, let me give you an example. The 9.4%, they are going to, you find out who the 9.4% is? I hope y'all follow this presentation. It's about to get deep. Know what I mean? The 9.4% will make sure that the money stay in rotation if they are committed, because they are the holders of that. And I'm going to show you how it'll work, right? I'm going to show you how it'll work. Watch this. Watch this, family. We need to stop begging. Stop begging people to free you. That's number one. Before we even get into this contract stuff, let's stop begging people to free us. That's number one. We don't need to go to Trump. We don't need to go to Biden. We don't need to go to anybody. You see what I'm saying? Now, here we go. This is the black contract. And I'm going to pull out a few points because I need you to understand that I'm just not talking. I need you to understand I'm just not talking. One of the points that Ice Cube points out is build to guarantee Black opportunity and representation. I want you to listen close to me. Adopt a plan of neo-reconstruction to redress past wrongs systematically imposed to Black Americans economically throughout many generations that have resulted in a wealth gap. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Adopt a plan. And let me tell you something. That's ambiguous talk. That's ambiguous talk. In any contract, there cannot be ambiguous talk. Let me stop for a minute. Listen, family. Listen. We're going to have a serious conversation. Family, are you familiar with real contracts? Because this is already becoming a joke. This is becoming a smokescreen. As we get through these files and we get through these slides, you're going to see that this is just another smokescreen. It may be good intended, but it needs to be scrapped because it's another smokescreen. But what I'm telling you is, I want you to pay close attention because I'm going to help you see through the smokescreen. These are gatekeepers. A contract can't have ambiguous language. It has to be precise, direct. And we have to know what we're contracting for. But wait till I get into this conversation. It's going to get heavy. I want to show you, family, if we want some change, there's a way to get it. So it say adopt a plan of neo-reconstruction to redress the past wrong systematically imposed on Black America economically throughout many generations that has resulted in a wealth gap, where the average white family have 10 times the wealth of a Black family. In addition to some economic initiative listed below, also formally apologize. Here we go. We're waiting on somebody to apologize. Listen. Just because somebody say they apologize don't mean they're apologetic. We need to get over that too. We don't need no apology. If someone wants to apologize, they do it voluntarily. You don't force nobody to apologize. That's another smokescreen. That's another smokescreen. They should apologize for slavery. You shouldn't have to tell them. We need to stand up. We looking soft. We need to leave that conversation alone. If someone wished to apologize for slavery, let them do it. We're talking about self-determination. I'm going to show you about that in a minute. It said for past discrimination and slavery. Additionally, Black opportunity and representation will include affirmative action in schools, public and private. You see this? All of these things have either been dealt with, some of it works, some of it don't. So here we go with another conversation. Per student, funding in states and on an equal basis instead of paid by local property taxes. Black representation on all government civil rights bodies, civil rights classes mandatory in elementary schools. Civil rights classes. I understand the contract is just a starting point, but it's not a starting point. It's going backwards. I'm going to show you a starting point in a minute. I'm going to show you a starting point in a minute. This is a smokescreen. This is not a starting point. And if you think this is a starting point, you have set us back, begging to be freed. I'm going to show you a starting point in a minute. Gerrymandering reform, additional polling places in Black and minority neighborhoods, Juneteenth to become a federal holiday. We can make Juneteenth a federal holiday without permission. Just don't go to work and don't go to school. Black representation in all government and all government civil rights bodies. You can do all that. That's local politics. That's local politics. These are smoke screens. Civil rights have not stopped the human infringement on our rights. Black representation on all government civil rights bodies. That's your right. You're an American citizen. Nobody have to give you permission to do that. Nobody have to give you permission to do that. This is the epitome of a smoke screen. Ice Cube intentions may be 1,000% true and pure, but this is a slave document. This is a slave document at best. And I'm going to show you why. Next, listen to what I'm saying. Lending reform, federal funding, Federal Reserve, finance oversight, data and credit. Money and credit issues are an easy fix. Then I'm going to show you why. The money and credit issue, let me talk to you for a minute. Family, let me tell you something. The money and credit issue is an easy fix. The reason why it's an easy fix is because with Ice Cube and all of his celebrity buddies, they actually could establish a financial institution that would center around mortgages and loans for their people. The government don't have to do that. All the people that Ice Cube know, they can put together and get that fictitious money jumping and get everybody who's qualified approved. Nobody has to go to the federal government. You know what I'm saying? Did you know that Cube had made changes for the black community in California? Absolutely, I know that, but we're not talking about that. See what I'm saying? The point that I'm making is that you can establish your own credit union. You can establish your own banking system. And with those like Cube and the people that he rubs shoulders with, they can establish that themselves and make a profit. Again, we're begging to be freed. See, it would be something different if I came out to the forefront and said, you know, we need to do this, we need to do that. And somebody say, well, Brother Tonka Bay, why don't you do it? I'm not worth $160 million. I can't spearhead, and I don't know people who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You and I know money makes the difference. I mean, money makes the difference. Money makes the difference. You and I know that. I'm going to show you something in a minute. And Frank White say a study is not change. 2 different words in a dictionary. Frank White, he is presenting this not as a study, but as a contract with Black America. That's how he's presenting it. So let's stop playing. Let's stop playing. I know we want to defend, but we want to get truth here. And now, if you want truth, you're at the right place because I'm going to give it to you raw. So anything that's dealing with the banking or money, that's an easy fix with those who are willing to put it on the line for the group. I'm pretty sure that Ice Cube is not the only one that has a concern about the wealth gap and the financial institutions in the United States. I'm pretty sure of that. And if he's breeds competency. Y'all hear me? Competition breeds competency. You hear what I say? The most wealthy among us, y'all can't hear me? Hold up. Check, check, check. What in the world? They done messed my sound up. Check, check, check. Hold up. Check, check, check. Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me? Man, they playing games. Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. Let me keep my phone up here. Give me 1 second. Let me set this up so I know what I'm hearing here. They playing games. Give me 1 second. Let me get this set up so I can make sure they don't try to get us. All right, here we go. All right. Go back 3 minutes ago. Got you. So what I wanted to say is this. When you look at the bank lending reform, right? If you want true reform, what you do is all the wealthy among us create their own banking system. That's it. And as I said, competition breeds competency. You know what that means? That's something I just coined as I was doing these slides. Competition breeds competency. In other words, if the wealthy among us would put their money together and create a mortgage lending or banking system, that would make the racist system fall in place for business. And it would force them to play fair. You understand? I want you to say it with me. Competition breeds competency. You cannot beg these people for anything. They designed all of this so you can't climb up through them. They don't want you to climb up through them. There's nothing you can ask for them to climb up. So you have to compete. You have to compete for the resources. The way that you compete is you establish yourself and you compete for the business. They don't give everybody a loan. I mean, Uncle Buck smoking crack can't get the house loan. But you know, if such and such then worked at McDonald's for 15, 20 years, they're going to be reliable on their mortgage. Just because they don't meet some standard that the federal government that put in place, that don't mean you deny them because they work at McDonald's. So the point of the matter is that a contract with Black America, again, is a bunch of smoke screens. You bring competition in the game, or people will be competent real fast. I mean, and the thing is, when people put their finance together, it has to be intentional. It would have to be intentional. It has to be very intentful. We are going to create this bank. We are going to create this mortgage. We are going to create this system for our people. We'll still give Europeans and all of that loans, but this is specifically for our people. You feel what I'm saying? This is specifically for so-called Black, so-called African Americans, specifically. Real talk. If you're not thinking like that, unfortunately, you're still thinking like a slave. And no disrespect, it is what it is. If you're not thinking independence, you're still thinking like a slave. And that's just what it is. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. But if you're thinking like that, we're begging people to free us when we got our hand on the lock. You follow me? Building your own wealth. Now, prison reform. See, Mac, you can still go through the system, but we got to start somewhere. See, that's the problem with us. We're not willing to start because somebody say, I need money now. So what you need money now? I do too. But we still got to start somewhere. Your children will need money too. Your children's children will need money too. That's Negro talk. I need money now. Me too. That don't mean I'm not working for a better tomorrow. Prison reform in the Black contract with Black America. Privately run prisons will be abolished. These are just talking points. Privately prisons will be abolished. Prison labor disallowed without consent. In fact, prison labor you know, we're not in the chain gang era. Most people that I know of who have been incarcerated, they have a choice to work or not. I don't know where this came from. I don't know where this came from. They got a choice to work for good days. They got a choice to work for them little coins, or they got a choice not to. This is a fact. This is all smoke and mirrors. Prison. Who put this in there? Prison labor disallowed without consent. I don't understand who put that in there. Smoke and mirrors, as if nobody in our family has been to prison. Man, they got us working out here. I ain't trying to work out here. No, you got it right. You got it right. It's crazy. And nonviolent offenders incarcerated for 10 years or longer will be freed if good behavior standards are met. See, you need a pool of attorneys for that. If you had 25 Johnny Cochrans, man, we could deal with this. But I'm going to show you how you get to that point too. All prisoners for marijuana possession freed. That, a lot of this stuff that you're talking about prison though, that's local. That's local politics. That's local politics. Listen, unless you're dealing with the federal prison system, this is all local politics. The local politicians control the prisons. The local politicians control the private industry complex. The local politics. This is all local. And so this all smoke and mirrors. And we got all of these topics up there that pull on heartstrings, but nobody know how to get to it. This is all local politics. This is all local politics. This stuff is addressed right at your government level, locally. Organize people to address it locally. That's all you got to do. Listen, in Baltimore, if we're able to, see, this is the thing. This is what people don't understand. This is what people don't understand, right? When you can start a wave, right? Let's take Baltimore, for instance, right? And you take the incarceration rate in Baltimore, it's pretty high for our community, right? But if I wanted to organize people, you know what it would take? If I wanted to organize people around to address the prison complex system in Baltimore and surrounding areas, one thing, I'm going to need some finance. I'm going to need to make some flyers for promotion. Everything is promotion, whether you know it, whether you like it or not. I'm going to need some flyers. I'm going to need some gas money. I'm going to have to get around to inform people what we're about. I'm going to need some donations because I can't afford it personally. You feel what I'm saying? But we can get that on. We can get that locally. That's nothing but something that can be put on a bill locally. That's not nothing that you give to Donald Trump. That is just not. You know what I mean? He might let go 1 or 2, 3 people, but man, the imbalance of our incarceration level is extreme. So we're going to need everybody in local jurisdictions to address this simultaneously. But if you start one place and you make the model, then you can spread it all the way around the country. But going to Donald Trump with this, that doesn't really make a lot of sense unless you address it the federal prison system. Now that's different. But like I say, the properly run prisons, what are you talking about? Are you talking about federal? Or are you talking about local? What are you talking about? This is why I say this is smoke and mirrors. And this is how they get us. This is how they get us. The gatekeepers always come with the smoke and mirrors that have no end. And so someone might say, well, this is just a start. This is just a start. No, this is not a start. This is more confusion. This is extreme confusion on every level. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why. This is extreme confusion on every level. What I mean by extreme confusion, in the more science tip of America, we call things confusion that doesn't have a resolve at the end. You know what I mean? That doesn't have resolve for people at the end. So we're looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, and this plan is just not it. Someone said Ice Cube has done more for black people than Michael Jordan. So what? This plan is not sufficient to get this boot and oppression off our neck. Stop crying and listen to my rationale, because I'm going to prove it. Another thing, black responsibility. Listen to this. These are heartstring topics. These are heartstring topics with no GPS to get to the end of the road of it. Let me stop for a second. Let me stop this for a second. Family, press 1 if you understand what I mean by heartstring topics. Press 2 if you don't understand. These are heartstring topics that has no roadmap to bring forth resolve. Do anybody that read this see how you're going to get from this paper to something legitimate? Do you really see that? Do you really see that? Listen, thank you, family. This is a social media era. I want you to understand that this is a social media era. And in social media era, there is sensationalism with talking points. This is just another talking point. ADOS is just another talking point. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. I'm going to show you why in a minute is just another talking point. You follow me? I'm going to show you why it's just another talking point. All right, here we go. If you want to be free, I don't think people want to be free. We got to face reality. Chronic poverty creates an atmosphere full of negativity, frustration, hopelessness, depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, crime, and violence. We all know this. It's not that we don't know this. These are some of the conditions that plague the black community, which is dealing with extreme generational poverty. As we begin to gain social and economic equality, it is our duty to clean up ourselves, 100, and our community, 100. This contract is a two-way street. As we gain social and economic equality, we must begin to dissolve any bitterness in our hearts for past wrongs. That's a social issue. You said social and economic, those are social things for real. And you saying that it's hinged upon economics. I would beg to differ. Economics have a little bit to do with it. But we can look at the social conditions of our people right after slavery who had a little bit of nothing and they made a whole lot. The social plight, they had tattered clothes. They had raggedy pork food. They had raggedy all sorts of eating stuff out the field, just trying to figure it out. And they had more dignity than what we have today. So I'm not going to get up into that economic demonstration and blame economics, because right after slavery, some people chose to stay in slavery for the fact that they didn't have the means to take care of themselves. But even when they came out with some form of dignity. They washed them tattered clothes. They put themselves to school. They stole books, read books, educated themselves, many of them. So we can't keep blaming economics on our social condition. Yes, it plays a part. It does play a part. But we cannot keep using that, because our people came out through dire situations with nothing. and still had dignity. They didn't call their women bees. Women wasn't twerking. They said we really must step up after we pass the contract with Black America, with no more excuses left in the kitty. Now, this is the part. This is the part. See, let me say, J-Man really worrying about Europeans. Stop worrying about Europeans. This is about us. Come on, there are way more white people in this country. We're not worried about Europeans. This is about us. Calm down and let's focus on us. Stop worrying about how many Europeans in the country. You know what I mean? Stop worrying about how many Europeans in the country and how many situations that has been set up for us to fail. Because if we want to win, I'm about to show you how we win on a small or large scale. Now, Cube say our entertainers should be persuaded to deliver more positive content that leads our youth to make better choices. A new pride must be developed with these new opportunities and must fight against negativity, frustration, hopelessness, depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, crime, and violence. Now, let me say this. If you are going to pay, before you can say that the entertainers, before you can say that the entertainers need to stop making derogatory, crazy music, twerking and all of that, you're going to have to give Cardi B a paycheck. See, these gatekeepers, even in the entertainment industry, they come from poverty. See, that would be like somebody telling you, no, it's not a start. I'm going to show you a start in a minute. That would be like somebody telling you, don't say the N-word in rap music when you're getting 50 racks a bar. You can go back to poverty, or you can get 50 racks a bar. You go back to poverty, or you can get 100,016 bars. Let's stop acting like somebody is going to stop acting a fool when they're getting paid to act a fool. They're getting paid to act a fool. That shouldn't even be on the table. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. All you got to do is change you and the like-minded with you and make that popular, and people will fall in. But you ain't going to stop Cardi B, that came from the Bronx, stripping, dirty, broke, tricking, pill popping, robbing men, sexing to get by, and now she can rap and shake her behind for millions of dollars, and you're going to say you got to stop. Yeah, okay. That's not even logical. That's not even logical. Why that's in the contract? I'm telling you, this is what I mean by heartstring stuff. Like this is illogical. This is what I mean by smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirror topics are topics to distract you from the bigger picture. We're going to talk about the bigger picture in a minute. I mean, we're going to talk about the bigger picture in a minute. But the smoke and mirrors is to distract you from the bigger picture. I'm going to show you the bigger picture that most likely will solve the problem in seconds. Somebody got to pay Cardi B to stop that. At least 95% of this contract could be reached by us without even talking to Trump or Biden. At least 95% of the contract. If you read it, it can be solved by us. A lot of it is just heartstring stuff. but it can be solved by us. We don't need Trump or Biden to give us a contract for none of this. None of it. Let's talk about what a contract is real quick. Now we're about to get busy. Contract, legal contracts, an agreement between private parties creating mutual obligation enforced by law. The basic elements required for the agreement to be legally enforceable contract are mutual assent, expressed by a valid offer and acceptance, adequate. See, I don't want you to be confused. Adequate consideration, capacity, and legality. See, I don't want you to be confused. Are y'all listening? I don't want you to be confused. Do you understand the legal ramifications of a contract first? Do you understand the legal word? There is no such thing as a contract with Black America presented by a celebrity. And I'm going to show why. If you understand what a contract is, this is what I'm talking about, family. Now, I don't know if somebody's going to come back Monday night quarterback and say, well, no, we didn't mean it like that. But this is not a contract. A contract, let me explain what a contract is. To take this seriously. You follow me? To take this seriously. What we must first ask, who is the representative of Black people? Who is the representative of these Black people that is a part of Black America? Now, and I'm going to tell you, somebody is going to say, man, you just going too deep. But no, if we're going to take it serious, who is the representative? What organization or what person is the representative? Is it Ice Cube? Is it Miss Mallory? Is it Puff Daddy? Who is the representative? For us to take this serious, there needs to be some sort of organization or individual. There you go, Ron. You on the right track, Ron. You on the right track. See, one of the reasons that you will be a fool to take this serious is because, as Ron just put out, he said we need a Black council. And I'm going to show you history will verify what Ron say. A sower of seed, we are the representative. It doesn't work like that. In the civilized world, a sower of seeds, it doesn't work like that. I'm going to show you how it works. It doesn't. We are the representative. That's like saying we don't need no leader. Okay. Not in the civilized world. In the civilized world, you are your own representative. It don't work like that. I'm going to show you how it works. Don't be emotional. Don't be emotional. In the civilized world, it don't work. You your own representative. That ain't going to get the money. Well, go sue for yourself. This is a contract for Black America. Stay focused. I know we're dealing with a lot of recipients of the crack baby generation, a lot of recipients of the party generation, party and bull. I know we're dealing with that, but stay focused. We're dealing with a contract with Black America, and that contract need to have a representative to be taken serious. Do you understand me now? All right. And we have examples to be taken serious. Again, I know a lot of people, we come out of area of partying and our mind ain't right. But I want you to stay focused with me. I'm almost done. To get to the good part, Now, first of all, we need to know who the representative is. That's it. For this plan, or for any plan for that matter, we need to know who the representative is. Why is it important? Checks and balance and accountability. I think I got that right. Is that right? Checks and balances and accountability. You follow me? Are y'all with me? This is why we need a representative. For checks and balances and accountability. It's not a checks and balance of, I'm my own representative. That's uncivilized. We need the checklist. And this is why I said the contract with Black America is ambiguous at best. Because there's no way to find the checks and balances or the accountability. That's the point. I mean, are we taking this serious? Do we want real liberation or do we just want social media commentary? We can do that all day. But I'm going to show you what real liberation look like. Illustrated on social media. Let's look at systems that worked for other groups or nations. I'm only going to pick a couple. You know who these people are, don't you? You know who these people are? Do you know who these people are? These are the European Jews. And I always like to use them as an example. King T, I'm about to talk about the solution. Work with me. Work with me, King T. I got you, brother. I got you. I've always give solutions. But I need to put emphasis on the problems amongst my people first. But now, these are what I call the European Jews. But how did they get reparations? How did they get restitution? They got it from organizing. The reparation agreement between Israel and the Federal Republic of Germany. Stop right there. Israel is an organized government. That's number one. They're not saying you have to be a government. So don't take it out of context. What I'm telling you is that there's going to have to be a representative to bring any resolve to fruition. Got to have organized. You got to have organization. You got to. They organize under the ideal of Israel, the state of Israel. You understand? Many of the brothers who subscribe to the Israelite religion crying foul. They the fake Jews. They the fake Jews. Well, the fake Jews got real liberation. The fake Jews got real resources. How did they do it? You don't have to agree with them. They organized. They had a central authority to address the Federal Republic of Germany. Now, this is about reparations. But the point that I'm making is that in order to address any government entity, you must be organized You must be organized and understand how law works, how government works, and how to make a claim. You don't beg with a piece of paper. You don't beg with a piece of paper on social media. It don't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. You don't have to like the Jews. You don't have to, you can hate them. That's between you and them. But let me tell you something. They organized around a concept. They didn't care if you believed it or not. They believed it. They made it real. You can call them fake this, fake that all you want. They made it real. And guess what? Listen to this. They have something that is called the reparations agreement. It was signed on September 10th, 1952, and entered in force in March 27, 1953. That's real. You ain't got to like them. According to the agreement, West Germany was to pay Israel, not yellow people, not blue people, Israel, for the cost of resettling so great a number of uprooted, destitute Jewish refugees after the war. Now, that's their situation. That's their issue that they were fighting against. But what I'm telling you, I want you to understand me, family. The point that I'm using, the reason why I'm using that is because there is nothing going to be obtained without concentrated organization and intentful mobilization towards that resolve. Do you understand what I'm saying? You understand? We're not talking about reparations and needing land. D-Red, blue collar scholar, you're missing the point. The point that we're making is you must be organized to be effective. Who cares if the land came first or the money came first? That's not the point. The point is you need to be organized and have a central authority to be the representative to speak for the whole. It just don't happen on social media. It don't happen on the Roland Martin show. Hot 97, the Breakfast Club. It don't happen like that. There is no group of people in the history of man where they've received reparations or received restitution, made it a tabloid conversation. Not one. There is not one. This is tabloid conversation. This isn't a distraction. This is a distraction. This is just to play the guitar. String that demonstration. That's all it is. This thing ain't going nowhere. They might drop you a few crumbs. But this ain't liberation. Liberation don't work like that. Liberation don't work like that. As I said, over 600,000 Jews, 600,000 Hebrews was commissioned to ask Pharaoh to let them go. And you still asking somebody to let you go. 600,000 Hebrews could have just walked away. And what? And what? They could have just walked away. They could have just walked away. And for somebody, I just had to block D-Red because he said they wasn't organized. He's a fool. He's a fool. And I love that brother, but he's a fool. You have to be organized to create a municipal type of government. That's organization all day. You ain't got to like it. When that money was distributed, they had to distribute it to somebody, some type of organization. We gotta stop being so critical. We gotta stop being so critical of people who have used certain remedies to get out of a situation because they don't look like us. Just because the Jewish people have been, in some regards, demonized, or they have did this and did that, who cares? Let's look at the principle of what I'm talking about. The principle of what I'm talking about is that these people organized to capitalize of a situation that was predicated for their demise. Period. Now, cryptonomics, you are right on it. And that's where we're going at. That's where we're going at, cryptonomics. Cryptonomics said most people won't organize because they don't want no work. Now, watch this, cryptonomics. You right on it, brother. Watch this. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. I can end the show right here. You know what I mean? Now, according to the website on the Conference of Jewish Material Claims Against Germany, or Claims Conference, you hear that? That's organization. That's organization. A claims conference is organization. A conference on Jewish material claims against Germany, that's organization. Why would somebody say they wasn't organized? Who says that? That's organization. In response to calls from Jewish organizations, and the State of Israel, organization. In September 1951, Chancellor Konrad Adenauer of West Germany addressed his parliament. Unspeakable crimes have been committed in the name of German people, calling for moral and material indemnity. The federal government are prepared jointly with representative of jury with what? Representatives of jury with what? With representative of jury. Again, who is the representative? Who is the representative? See, let me tell you something. Miss Mallory, she getting that 501c3 check. She getting that 501c3 check. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Diddy, he's a brand builder. He's a brand builder. Ice Cube, his intentions may be good. Because I do like Ice Cube. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how the relationship with him and Khaled went. But his intentions might be good. But they're unqualified to address our condition. This whole thing is just smoke and mirrors. It just don't address our condition. It appears to be some sort of gatekeeper demonstration. Now, one month after Adenauer's speech, Nahum Goldman, co-chairman of who? Jewish Agency for Israel. Y'all see that again? That's organization. And the president of who? The World Jewish Congress. These are organizations that was fighting in the cause of reparation and restitution. They didn't go on tour with James Brown. or some popular Jewish singer? Listen, when you look at the Japanese government, right, which colonized Korea in 1910 and conscripted hundreds of thousands of Koreans to serve its war effort at the height of World War II. The South Korean dictatorship that agreed to a 300 million settlement. From where? From Japan. What am I talking about? These are organized efforts. Koreans, South Korea. These are organized efforts for relief. Until we are ready to get organized, we ain't getting nothing. But while these people was organized to make a claim, they also was building their own by their own hand. Just because they was making a claim, didn't mean they wasn't building their own nation either. See, we want to beg and not build. We want to beg and not build. That's our problem. We want to beg that somebody have mercy on us and not build. See, while they was making a claim, they were still building. While the Jews was making a claim, they were still building. We ain't building nothing. A South Korea court said Japanese companies should pay Japan. Says it's up to South Korea government to compensate them based on the terms of 1965 agreement. You see this again? These are organized efforts. Japan and Republic of Korea. These are organized efforts. This is not some social media or newspaper ad. These are thousands of people. Like, we go and get ours. But in the process of getting ours, we're going to build. Ice Cube is worth, according to the internet, $160 million. If Ice Cube wanted to move forward on some real change without asking these people to help with change, you can go right there to Clearton, Arizona. You can buy a town. You see this? You can buy a town and you can start there. You can buy your own town, unincorporated. Maybe y'all don't know what that is, but let me explain. Nestled in the arid Arizona desert of Yap. I don't want to live in the desert. It's your own town. Nevada. What is that? Las Vegas was in the desert. It was nothing. It was nothing. Las Vegas was nothing. If you want to start, buy a town of 1.3 million, all the people that you know, and it's unincorporated. And it's unincorporated. Let me show you what that means. So someone says that's a death trap surrounded by America. Calm down. One of the first things that you have to understand is that when you plan, because when you plan, let me explain this to you. When you plan, because we got history on our side. When you plan to build, to fortify, and protect. Because we got history on our side. We know what we could be up against with Black Wall Street, et cetera, et cetera. So when you're in your planning, you plan to build, fortify, and protect. You don't stop the plan of building to fortify and protect because Europeans have done something to Black Wall Street. That was the purpose, to scare you and not to trying it again. That's the purpose. What do you think the KKK was? You think they wanted to kill all so-called black people? No, they wanted to instill fear so you will not try to do something on your own. That's what slavery had. That's how slavery maintained for so long, by the way of fear. You're still a slave if you say you're surrounded by KKK. You're still a slave if you say they ain't gonna do nothing but Black Wall Street. You're still a slave if you think that you should not go forth and build something because of what the European done in the past. You're still a slave. This is the point. This is the point. And when you understand an unincorporated town, you'll understand that you can create your own mayor. You'll understand that you can create your own police department. You understand you'll have your own post office. You understand that you will have your own everything that you would have in Compton, Watts, Baltimore, or anywhere else. You understand what I'm saying? You will have everything that every city have. And these unincorporated towns, they're already fortified with running water. They're already fortified with drainage systems, electricity. Even the one I'm about to show you. If you want some real change, Bridgeville, California is up for sale for $1.5 million. It says the community made headlines as the first town to be touted on eBay when it was listed on the online buying list for 2002. After initial sale fell through, real estate, But let me show you something. It says Los Angeles-based entertainment manager, college student Daniel Thomas LaPalelli, 25, purchased the town in August 3rd, 2006 from Crawl. LaPalelli paid $1.25 million. The money coming from his own entertainment management work, as well from his mother and grandmother. In an interview with Times Standard, LaPalelli said, "Community is very important in every aspect. We will have to live together. Bridgeville is going to be example. We're going to show that we can be environmentally conscious. Good neighbors just create a special little community." The point that I'm making is that an unincorporated community, you can turn into your own city. You can turn into your own municipality. You can govern yourself. Every state throughout the United States are independent of itself. Do anybody know that? Maryland is independent of itself. They're incorporated. They're corporations. Every city is corporated. So you can buy an unincorporated city and you can turn it into what you wanted to turn it into. You don't have to fake like you're a militia. You actually can have your own police department. You actually can have your own everything. 1.3 million can start it off. When you start to get industry going, you start having your own mall. You start having your own building facilities. You start having your own everything. Again, we get back to the point. Competition breeds competency. The moment that you begin to make competition real, you develop your own Amazon. Listen, all of these people that got money, they think a pair of shoes and a Maserati or a funny car that costs $500,000 is making it. When in fact, around the United States, there's unincorporated towns that you could own and you could run it just like your own state. Y'all understand that? That's true freedom. That's true freedom. Do you press one if you understand true freedom? True freedom is not knocking on Trump's door. True freedom is not marching no more. It never was, but true freedom is not that. True freedom is not that. It's never been that. When you look at the 13 colonies, when they decided that they wasn't rolling with Great Britain no more, they say that's it. We're going to do this here and that's it. You roll up, you pull up, we're going to do what we got to do. That's it. That's true freedom. See, we're not really ready for true freedom yet. We want to romanticize true freedom because we really still got a Roman mind. Our mind is still with Romans. It's still with Romans. So somebody say that's why we need reparations. No. We work towards building something for ourselves, and simultaneously we work towards restitution for things that has been alleged and things that have been not alleged, things that have been perpetrated against us. Just because you want to fight for reparations shouldn't stop you from building your own community, your own nation within a nation. Are you crazy? You're going to beg the same people to give you something that's already yours and not build something that's right there. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. You can still fight for reparations. You can still fight for that, but don't neglect the fact that you got the ability to build your own. And for people that says that people are, our problem is they're too religious and divided. That ain't the problem. You let them religious and divisive people stay where they at. We don't need them anyway. If you think that religion has divided us, then maybe you might be divided. But it's some like-minded people out here. Let them stay where they at. Let them stay where they at. We ain't got to convince everybody. All we need is those who want their conditions to be better. We don't need everybody. We do not need everybody. Listen, if Umar Johnson can raise $1 million for a school that's never going to take place, I just showed a town for $1.3 million. He could have had a town and a school within the town. Most of these towns have buildings already on them. Once you get that, you get our community to invest in it. Create industry. Know what industry is. Know the difference between selling incense and producing an incense factory. Know the difference. Know the difference between selling oil than producing the oil factory. Industry. We must be at the beginning of the production line and at the end receiving. That's how we got to think. We can't think, I need a loan for this. No, we got all we need. Listen, there is nothing on earth that didn't come from in earth. There is nothing on earth that didn't come from in earth. All we need is like-minded people. We don't need to ask nobody for nothing. This contract with Black America is nothing but smoke and mirrors. When in fact, you can create your own geographical location with all the bells and whistles to govern yourself for less than $2 million. And all people who are interested will come. You build it, they will come. You can even put your own jail on your town. See, one thing you have to understand, in order to keep you enslaved, you have to have the illusion that you're included. We are a nation within a nation, and you can thrive within the United States. You don't have to go nowhere. You can thrive right here. Somebody wants you to believe that you can't, but you really can. You should have people coming to your town, to your carnival. Europeans, visitors from all cultures should be coming to your town, to your carnival. Magic Johnson putting his movie theater in your town. But we don't think like that. See, the so-called black and white issue is really not that. It's the intelligence trying to live off the ignorant. Once we wake up and become intelligent and don't think that we need that to get ahead, we'll be all right. We can still fight for restitution. But imagine this. If we was 3 million deep in our own town, and our mayor of that town said we are descendants of those who suffered the atrocities of slavery. We demand restitution. The town of Moorish Waters demand restitution. We're writing a bill that our town and our citizens of our local district will be compensated and generations after by the United States government who played a role in enslaving those people of indigenous and African descent. Mr. Such and Such, Mr. Such and Such, that's our go-to man. I'm just using Moorish Waters as an example, but I'm just saying that's our go-to man. Don't speak to me. I'm not making a YouTube video about you. Go talk to him. Go talk to him. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. It ain't going to be on Hot 97. It ain't going to be on the Breakfast Club. No, we got 2 million strong in Moorish Waters Township. We need you to bring that bread back. Now, anybody else that's outside and not a citizen of Moorish Waters, then they ain't going to get their cut. They just not a citizen of that township. They got to work it out themselves. That's just how it works. Stop thinking that this resolution and reparation is going to come by all at one time. That's going to have to be an organized group. That's why it was so many organized Jewish people, because they represent different constituents within what they would call the Jewish nation. Everybody ain't going to get that bread at once unless everybody come together. You understand? And we are not all going to come together. We too messed up. We too messed up to all to come together at once. However, those who have confidence and believe that we can pull it off, those are the ones that need to come together. It is. And stop being mad because everybody ain't with it. They still sleep. Let them sleep. Let them argue that the God of Israel is real and the God of Allah is fake. Let them argue that stuff. Don't worry about it. They be all right. Let them argue all that silly stuff. The black woman is God and all that stuff. Let them do all that stuff. Let them do all that stuff. All you need, we have, I think I said 43 million. Man, I think 1 million of them will come together. I think 1 million of them will come together. If you get 100,000 together, y'all know what 100,000 people look like? If you get 100,000 people together, you know what that energy gonna look like? You know that energy is going to draw in? Do you know? That energy is going to draw in like-minded people. That energy is going to draw in wealth. That energy is going to draw in people who are accomplished and wish to be accomplished. So, do everybody understand the reason why I labeled this a contract of Black America with Black America as no less than a slaveholder's tactic? Press 1 if you understand. Press 2 if you don't. Press 1 if you understand why I labeled it that. Do you understand? That's the reason why I changed. It's not going nowhere. If we want real change, we got to take change. We got to take our place in the affairs of men. We got to take it. We got to take it. If we don't take it, we ain't got nothing. And taking something don't mean at the end of a gun. Taking something mean practical application of solutions that have worked in the past. Practical applications of solutions that have worked in the past. It's all we got to do. It's a wrap. I would love to spearhead something like that. That's all we got to do. We can't keep on coming to Donald Trump or any of these politicians asking them to make a contract with us. They have never made a contract that they honored anyway. Do y'all know that? They have never made contracts with people of African descent or indigenous descent that they kept. Do y'all know that? Do y'all understand that every time you find a way to work within the law to make a come up, that they create a law to stop your come up? So the best thing that you can do is become the law and stop asking them to make laws for you. The best thing that you can do is become the politician as opposed to appealing to a politician. The best thing that you can do is raise your children to be the judge instead of appealing for a lawyer not to lock your son up, not to lock your daughter up. See, that's what these Jews did too. They raised their children to be the judges. And so when one get in trouble, they going straight to their cousin. And their cousin going to sit up there. Probation. Case dismissed. Shalom. You know I had to give him probation. He kept getting in trouble. I don't send him to jail. I gotta give him probation. He keep getting in trouble. I give him probation. Shalom. This is how I go. This is how I go. We crying about injustice, but we are not doing what we supposed to be doing. We supposed to be taking our place in the affairs of men. How you going to cry about injustice, but you ain't putting yourself in position to distribute justice or to affect real change? That's just what it is. Hey, Cryptonomics, did you see Lenore Honor, man? That last one, man, he had the lights off. But with that being said, family, I'm glad you understand. I would love to express our plan that we have been developing, and and anybody can get involved with it. It's time to get serious now. I got to do a couple more demonstrations on Grandmaster Jay, and then we'll move forward. Because that shooting range video was just hilarious. I gotta do it. I gotta do some updates. I gotta do some updates on Grandmaster Jay. He is gone nuts. He think because he was interviewed. Yeah, man. Lenore Honor was funny. He think he did some interviews and with CNN that it validates him, but in fact, it might hurt my brand keep messing with him. You know what I'm saying? But whatever the case may be, family, we are organizing. I encourage you to organize with us. As you can see, I have our logo for the Alliance for Political Accountability. You know what I'm saying? And the Alliance for Political Accountability is about us holding ourselves to be accountable politically. Whether if you take a part in voting locally, or whether if you're going to enforce the law and force the hand on those that you have put in office, or whether you take your vote and put your brother or your sister in office and take it over. You must be accountable politically. That's where the bag is. But while we're working that system, we also need to work the organization and the building system of our own. We got to work all fronts. Cryptonomics say people with culture understand how to organize. Those who don't need to be taught culture. We need that badly, brother. And that's why I'm a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because the culture and the organizational efforts that is very intentful. And I'm not talking about the that stuff you read on the internet. Please don't ever research Moorish on the internet and conclude that it is something that it's not. You got my information? That's right. Moorish Waters Homeowners Association. Dues need to be paid by the third. That's right. Yeah. Don't look at that foolishness that you research Moorish or Moorish science. If you want Moorish science understanding, not to join or anything like that, but clarification, email me at tahakabay at yahoo.gmail.com or join Noble Temples at gmail.com. You can ask me anything you like, but don't take this internet sensationalism of what Moorish is being legit. Seriously. And matter of fact, tomorrow night, I'm going to try to see if I can screen share my presentation that I'm doing on another guy's show tomorrow. I mean, so people can get a better understanding. But with that being said, family, salute you. Thank you for all the thumbs up as we roll out this plan. I hope y'all stick around so y'all can take a part of this plan, take part in the plan for our true liberation. You know, we're going to have to get it from the mud, family. Ain't nobody giving us nothing. Once we get it from the mud, we can reach out and go and grab a little something. But we got to organize first. We got to organize first. Without organization, there can be no nation. Peace and love, family. And never forget, competition breeds competency. Once you compete, people become competent real fast. Once you compete, they become competent real fast. Ron, email me, Ron. We're gonna start this campaign up. Let's see if we can pull it off, Ron. Email me to uncle@yahoo.com. Ron, not afraid X. Let's see if we can start this campaign.